Whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Natalie Kashabi.
I'm Holly Snyder.
I'm Sam Short.
I'm Tommy Smith. And I'm Steve Romani.
And we are Safeguard. We are developing a mouth-guarded app that can neurologically track the vibrations and impacts needed to cause concussions. According to the Brain Injury Research Institute, it's estimated that 1.6 to 3.8 million sports-related concussions occur every year in the United States. And even more shocking than that, brain injuries due to impact is the #1 cause of death in children and young adults. Families can be greatly affected by physical, financial, and emotional stressors because of an injury, and according to Cost Helper Health, depending on health insurance, it could cost $75 to $520 per physical therapy session, accumulating to thousands of dollars. So this is our mobile app. As you can see here, we want to have it be customizable for each athlete and team for school colors. So for us, it would be red, white, and black. And the coach would send out a code to be able to join a group, and you'd be welcomed onto a roster, as you can see on the very left. And if you click on a name, you can see the player's weight, their height, their age, and the trainers will have access to their medical history if they choose to. And our impact reporting would be in a green, yellow, red scale, calculating our linear and angular acceleration patterns. And we also want to keep the parents connected so they would receive notifications if they wanted to about when their child got into each prospective zone. For coaches, if need be, they'll have a search zone for which players had the most G-force taken and at any given time. And we want to have an app piece where you'd be able to visualize where the impact was absorbed the most. So our main direct competitor, Prevent Biometrics, this is their mouth guard. As you can see, it's the gel OK polymer for fit and comfort on the top, the embeddable, flexible circuit board in the middle, and the compact form factor on the bottom. And in the circuit board, it would have the accelerometer and gyroscope, the wireless charging, plus the Bluetooth connectivity. So the technology itself would be essentially what we are using as well, but the difference would be our mouth guard. So our standard mouth guard with a retractable chip that you would move from one mouth guard of ours to the other mouth guard, saving yourself from spending $300 per set, which is what they have to do for Prevent Biometrics. For us, we'll get into it later, but in our value proposition, this is what differentiates us from our competition.
So for our customer segments, we have decided to target to parents of athletes and athletic directors. We have specifically chosen parents of athletes because no one cares more about a child's safety than a parent. And for athletic directors, they want to make sure their players are staying safe on the field. So what they will be getting is a replaceable mouth guard. Our retractable chip can be reinserted to another one of our mouth guards, real-time tracking. So this syncs the data collected by the mouth guard and transfers it into the app instantaneously. And then for the Bluetooth app, our app records and converts the data of one hit or more and continues to track the score of the game at any given time. So for our direct competitor, we have Prevent Biometrics. And like Holly said, their technology is placed into the mouth guard, and the main difference with us is that we can take the chip out, so they wouldn't have to buy the entire set again for $299, and they would just have to purchase another mouth guard, and then they could put the chip back in when they are done mouth guard. And then our indirect competitor would be Rydell IT helmets, and for both of these products, there are no viable solutions. So for our total addressable market, we have estimated that it will be $374 million. So we got this number by taking the amount of high school athletes, which would be 2.5 million, and we got this number from the NCAA. And then we would multiply that by our price point, which would be $150 for the product, and we got this from our customer interviews and our direct competitor. So for our serviceable addressable market, we have estimated that it will be $59.8 million, and again, we got this from multiplying the number of high school athletes, which would be 2.5 million, and we multiplied that by 16%. So we got this 16% from the Wall Street Journal, and it says that 16% of the U.S. population makes over $70,000, and then from this we assume that they would be able to afford our product, and then we would again multiply that by $150 for our product.
So our channel would actually be through a website where our customers will be able to gain access to our product and buy it. And people would discover about our product using, we use Instagram and Facebook ads, also our accounts, because we do follow high school athletic administrations and also other companies. So 1 unit of our product will actually be 4 mouth guards, a replaceable chip in our app. And so our estimated price per one unit is $150. And our COGS is $32. And we got 32 because the most direct and like closely thing that our product actually relates to is actually a Fitbit. And so then we actually assume that the chip inside it would be $25, and the 4 mouth guards will cost $4, and plus our shipping and handling would be $3. And then when you subtract the COGS from our actual price per unit, it gives us 118. Then divide that by 150 gives us our gross profit margin of 78.6%. So our hopeful first year revenue is actually $57,000, and we got this number by taking the total amount of athletes at high school in Barrington, Friend in Barrington, and that actually gives us 2,822 athletes. And using our customer relationships, we hopefully can actually reach about a quarter of those people, which gives us 720. And then using our conversion rate of about 50%, we hopefully can reach about 360 of those people. And when you multiply 360 by 150, it gives us $57,000. And our first year market share will actually be 0.1%, and we got this by our total dividing our total addressable market divided by our total customer served.
So for our MVP, we'll be using a landing page, and the currency we're collecting is emails. Our target goal for our time period is to collect 50 athletic administrative emails, and 200 athlete emails, and 250 parent emails. On our landing page, it will tell about our products and statistics about concussions, and that's where they'll be able to sign up to our mailing list. So through our MVP, we'll be testing our price point and features through 2 different types of questionnaire raffles. In each questionnaire raffle, people, if they choose so and answer the questions, they'll have the chance to enter to win $20 in a Visa gift card. The graphic design and video raffle is where we're getting a graphic design done by students at Barrington High School for free, and it will be similar to what we showed you earlier. And we're getting a video done on how to use our product, so to give people a better idea about that, and we're going to get that done for approximately $150. And then for our competitor raffle, we'll be showing people our competitors, and this isn't a threat to our business considering they haven't come out with a real solution to this product. They're also basically just an idea, and people will hopefully get a lot of qualitative feedback from this. We'll also be testing our customer segment and channels and customer relationships. We'll be testing our customer segment through an email questionnaire. Once people subscribe to our mailing list, we'll send them an email asking if they're a parent, athlete, athletic administrative head, or other. And that will just help us feel who our customer base mainly is. And we'll also be attending the Illinois Athletic Directors Association Convention on May 5th. To go down there, it will cost us about $150, and that will give us the overnight because it's going to start early in the morning and we don't have time to drive there. And we feel that this will really expand our outreach to athletic administrators in some schools across Illinois. We'll also be going to the booster clubs of Barrington, and we've already talked to a few, and they're very interested in showing our product and sending emails about our product to parents and athletes. And we'll also be going to the Roundup, since it reaches many students and teachers are parents. They can find out more about our product. And to test our channels and customer relationships, we'll be using Facebook social media ads, and we'll be mainly targeting these ads towards people within our area and within certain groups, Facebook groups, such as the Barrington Moms Association, Football Moms Associations, similar to that. And to make our landing page more professional and allow us the outreach that we would like, we would need $87 to do that. And this is our timeline, and the main dates is by February 22nd, all of our strategies we'd like to have implemented. By May 1st, hopefully our raffles would end, and we'd hopefully have almost all of our emails collected. And on May 5th, we'll be attending the Illinois Athletic Directors Association Conference, where we'll hopefully receive even more emails from athletic administrators. So in total, we're asking for $612 to implement all of our strategies.
So as of right now, we have not received any funding, but we will be attending future events in the next 6 months to hopefully receive funding. We have talked to many people, including sports management, school administrators, and dozens of concerned parents. We are also planning on touring some of our local hospitals in our area and talk to some of the neurologists there. We are also planning on talking to the head of a concussion research facility, as well as a local doctor named Dr. Diorio, and also some chip developers who will give us some insight in our technology. And finally, we plan on talking to a lady named Lisa DiMucci, who is the founder of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
We are Safeguard. Detect and protect.
How does this work? I mean, is it, have you explored the technology in terms of, somebody gets a big hit and they bite down and that.
Yeah, so
generates a
for
signal.
our direct competitor, Prevent Biometrics, they calculate theirs in, like I said, linear and angular acceleration patterns, like the G-force and the radians that you take. And they're using this BioDrive technology, and so we'd be using the BioDrive microchip technology, and like they have proof that it exists.
And do you know anyone, or have you talked to anyone that has used that Prevent regularly?
No, we haven't. Their product is currently going it's really not able to be released, from the time we've been working on this, it's only been up once, and it was available to buy in like a testing phase, so
It's been on and off the
So
market.
it's not really an
regularly.
established competitor
No,
right
it's
now.
not.
Correct.
I think you guys have a really, really good idea. It's like a huge discussion point
Yeah.
everywhere, and if you can solve it, awesome. It's going to cost a lot of money to solve. And so the way that you're gonna have to raise capital to do that, and the best way to raise capital is to show that you have the ability to convert customers. And so in your MVP, you might change it just a little bit. So right now you're getting some money for a video, right? Like an explainer video and what your product does. And even though it's not developed, it's going to kind of show what it does, right?
Yes.
So get people to come to your webpage and watch the video. And then what you're doing right now is collecting their emails.
Yes.
Instead of collecting their emails, tell them to ask them if they'd like to buy it.
Like pre-orders?
No, buy it.
Just, okay.
You don't have it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Would you buy it? And here's
Yeah.
the price.
Yes.
When they click on it, so I would buy this for $150. Yes. We're temporarily out of stock. We're temporarily, we're in a product delay. Something maybe out of stock is a little bit too aggressive of a head fake. But hey, we're in a delay for shipping. But you know something. You know they would have bought it
Yeah.
at that price. And then it's very different metrics than, I'll give you I'll give you my email maybe someday.
Yeah.
Like, that's not proving enough for an investor to say, you mean to tell me you got 40,000 people that hit your website, 30,000 watched the video, and 20,000 said I would buy it for $150,000, and you just didn't have it? I'll give you $500,000 to do that.
Yeah.
And you're going to need millions to pull this together.
Yes.
But we can give you the money, like, if you win this whole competition, we can give you $25,000 to do proof of concept and get you to the fundraising stage. But you'll never get people to give you money if they say, well, I got 22 people that showed me their email.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna do
It's
it
more personal if they literally say the words, "We will buy it."
for this price,
For this price.
after seeing the video.
Yes.
Like, it's like so you have to spend money in getting people to your website,
Yes, well,
a lot, you gotta spend money in the explainer video,
Yeah.
and then the rest of it is easy. I mean, it's like Google Analytics, you can do
Yeah.
that stuff. You guys know how to do all that?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't, you can Google it. It's pretty good. That will be competitive, then you'll get maybe some venture capital people that will,
Sure.
now, all along doing that, learn from that competitor.
yeah, definitely.
Like, the moment, look at it every day, and the moment it's available, buy one.
Yeah.
Do they have a price?
$300 for a set of 3.
$300 for a set of 3.
Yes.
And it comes with an app.
Well, actually, we're having a really hard time finding their app. Like, we think it's must.
It's not on the
really
App
not
Store.
out.
and
I'm gonna take a guess that somebody's doing exactly what you're trying to do, and trying to get the same thing,
Yeah.
like how many people said they would buy it for
Yeah.
200?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many questions like you can go down here, but I'm just trying to think of,
Yeah.
this is not your final pitch, this is just, what do we wanna know in May?
Mhm.
And what we're gonna wanna see is you have a ton of action on your website and a really strong conversion rate after, that people would buy for a certain price. And so what you could do in your MVP is for a month, run it at $150, and for the next month, run it at $300, and see what happens with your
Yeah.
ratios. And if there's no change, it's like, oh,
Like, oh.
probably go 450.
Yeah.
You know, just keep going until you see a deterioration in your conversion rate.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Have you all been in conversation with athletic directors and heads of football leagues, of youth football leagues already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not waiting for that
Correct.
No.
conference that's going on already?
Not just specifically football, is it?
No,
No.
this is for all sports.
We want to focus on the main high contact sports such as football, lacrosse, and hockey, but we do want to branch out to soccer, cheerleading, and people in the military have even shown interest in Safeguard. So we really want to branch out once this becomes a real.
Is the mouth guard necessary, or is this something that can be integrated into a helmet or a pad or something like that?
We are mainly just, the thing that makes us so special is the chip. And we're using a mouth guard right now for sports, but eventually, yes, this could be in helmets, this could be in patches, this could be in, I don't know, glasses or something, just for,
Our other direct competitor is the Rydell IT helmet, so I don't know if you've seen commercials during football games, they'll probably show them. But that is mainly just for football and maybe hockey. But
What is the helmet? What's the right now?
it's like a little, the same
It's got an
vibration
impact gauge.
technology, but impact gauge on inside the helmet
It's
instead
in the
of-
helmet versus the mouth.
Yeah.
And is the woman you're talking to, you know, supportive of this concept? Is there, you know, is there?
The foundation.
Oh, yeah, no, so there's a lot of backstory with her. Her husband passed away from a car accident, but it turns out that it wasn't the car accident that killed him. It was the repeated injury that he had played football throughout his entire life. And so the last hit kind of was the thing that had him pass away. But she's very intrigued because she thinks that this is a problem in everyone's lives, even if it's not something that you necessarily use every day in sports. Everyone's fallen down, everyone's probably hit their head in some sort or another, and it really is an important thing.
Really what I was asking is there like proven analysis that this impact measurement is reflective of something serious? I mean, you know, are you going to get a number that says, oh, you just had a concussion?
Yeah, this is technology
Yeah.
work.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's the repeated G-force that what we'd be reporting, so we found out the specific numbers once we go through that, and it'll track the cumulative scores of each practice and game and season, but also like the individual hits, so that's what you'd be looking at. But
Yeah, you're not the only people trying to solve this, right? So
I'm sure.
it's a big issue, which validates the problem.
Yeah.
And this isn't, you know, like, it doesn't need, you don't have to be that unique, right? You can just have the same approach with maybe the differentiation point of a removable chip is enough.
Yeah.
But it will cost serious money, and you're gonna have to get outside capital. And so if you're playing a long game on that, like you're not just saying, hey, we're high school students and we're trying to get through this in the next 6 months and we're gonna raise some money. There's ways to do that, but this isn't one of those. So what you want to prove is that you've got some technology that you can work on, but mostly it's a market that you
Yeah.
have the ability to sell it at a certain price point.
What's the $612 for the guy there?
do you want to go back to the slide?
There's a show for 150, a video for,
Yeah, video for 150, 2 raffles, $20 each. Facebook ads, $100, convention, 150, and then the newspaper for our school, 85, and our perfecting our landing page, 87.
Who reads Rhonda?
A lot of students do and teachers.
It's exposed to 3,000 kids, including all the staff, so.
and what are you trying to do there? Get them to go to your website?
Yeah.
It's really all about exposure at this point.
We got a question in the back, right?
Yeah, I have a question, design question, really.
What distinguishes you is this removable chip, which I think is really interesting and an incredibly bright idea. My question is, because it keeps coming in my head, you've got a removable chip that's going to be in a mouth guard, that's going to be in someone's mouth
Yeah.
while they're playing football or whatever. And I'm thinking, what about the liability risk of it being dislodged and someone choking? I mean, has that been discussed in
Yeah,
the
we
design?
We don't have an actual prototype right now, which is why I just cut open a slit in the beginning of a standard mouth guard. But there would be a sort of like flap that you would be able to close so you can swallow.
Yeah,
Or
it
like-
seems like that's what jumps out at me as
Yeah.
a possible problem with what distinguishes you. Can it be done efficiently?
And also, we're looking at if it's a mold, like the mouth guards are moldable, like you bite on them, it'd be moldable maybe to like close that, and then once you're done with it, you could simply just cut the slip open, take it out,
Or
and
just
put it
heat
in the
it
next
up
one.
again.
Heat it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll
The
just-
other way that you may monetize this whole thing is after you prove out that you've got a lot of interest, people who watched it said they would buy it, is partner with the folks that built this and say, you want to buy us? What we have is interested customers that want to buy it, we just can't deliver it, but there's a real value to that as a company. That might be your exit.
Yeah.
So,
Do we have a number?
I don't know, 600 is expensive, but change around any, like this, just go back to the sheet again. The next page has like these raffles.
The raffles.
In competitor raffles, like repurpose that, either eliminate it or repurpose the money to get more advertising.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think that's
Mhm.
kind of the,
Yeah.
So 612?
I mean, we'll never get this money back, because you won't have any revenue generation, so try to be prudent.
Yeah.
But if you need it, you need it.
Mhm.
612?
If you don't need it, you're taking it away from other kids.
600?